Look, Kendrick Lamar breaks all-time hip-hop chart record. Look, he broke the record, the all-time record for the amount of weeks a song has spent at the top of the Billboard Hot Rap R&B charts. Look, bro, Luther with SZA Scissor spent 23 weeks at the top of the charts. Look, he broke his own record that was previously held by Not Like Us. This Luther is spinning. Well, look here. Despite that Luther being everywhere, bro, every time it comes on, I shuts it off. Yeah. Every time that record comes on, I shuts it off. Why? Bro, you can't even understand what the nigga saying in half of the record, bro. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real, bro. It has no emotion like you would think. And a lot of people gonna say, bro, he's hating on Dot. He's hating just the K-Bites, bro. You ain't got to like everything. Dare to have your own opinion, fam. And get what else? Fuck you. Real shit. Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the playground. Jay-Z reunited with his siblings in New Jersey. Look, Michelle, Andrea, and Eric Carter, the one he previously had shot when he was 12 years old, stealing his jewelry. Look, they popped out on him in New Jersey at the Cowboy Carter tour. First time I even seen him with him. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real, bro. These people was nowhere to be found before Jigga wanted to make himself look more human, more humane. But this Jigga is just a regular guy, fam. They always got pictures of him and Beyonce, and that's all bullshit to the side, fam. They always got pictures with him and Beyonce with their extended family members at barbecues, Christmases, all type of shit, bro. These people are just regular. Now, I didn't know he had 3 siblings. I didn't even know, but get what? I ain't a super fan either. But yeah, it's nice to see him with his people, bro. Sometimes you leave, but you always come back. Why? Because you know it's real over there. Yeah, they not smelling your ass and following you. You got a banana in it. They really taking you for Sean Carter, not Jay-Z. That shit hit different. Drop it in the comments. The shit might go past most of y'all head, but guess what? I don't give a fuck. Look, Soulja Boy ends his feud with DDG. He say he's squashing his DDG beef because it's looking more like a cock and hold situation. He say he minding his own business from here on out. Look, he's done trolling. Look, the way you did Neil Riley, when you were beating the shit out of Neil Riley, you should have minded your own business anyway. Now you want to catch a split. What was all that energy that you had for old Charleston White? The thing is, bro, you see, DDG got that information on you. I don't know if he got proof that you was actually fucking William the Baddest or not. But he has something on you, bro. And on top of that, he's ready to punch some night. Y'all supposed to be catching a fade, bro. Don't catch a split now. You might as well get your fights and your fades out the way, because Blueface coming home soon, and you got you one right there. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. Drop it in the comments. But guess what? If you got anything to say about what I'm talking about, man, go sit on a toothpick, pass it to your mother, then pass it to your grandmother, and then take that toothpick back and pick your motherfucking teeth with it, pussy. Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the play. Look, the game compares Snoop Dogg to Kendrick Lamar. Kenneth Duckworth Lamar. Look, Snoop Dogg ain't nothing. Let's just start here, bro. He put out a list of 100 of the greatest LA rappers. Somehow, MC New York was #1. Look, they think Pac was from LA, bro. He was only there for a couple years. Now, how can somebody from, and call except MC New York, be one of the best LA rappers? That should have been the West Coast list. Look, he even had Lefty Gunplay on the list. He got Snoop over Kendrick Lamar. Made it a LA thing. If you gonna make a list of West Coast rappers, man, don't even make a list if you ain't got Mozzie on that bitch. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. And for you to be ranked, the game, to be ranking himself so high on that list, look, anybody would argue that guess what? You might be As low as you put Left the Gunplay, let's just be honest, let's just be real, bro. You was alright, but you wasn't never like they trying to say better than Jada Kiss. Come on, my nigga. Drop it in the comments, bro. Scars from the playground. Look, Russell Simmons got some nerve. He's filing a $20 million defamation lawsuit. And this is against HBO for the On the Record documentary. He's suing for $20 million to make Warner Bros. Discovery remove that documentary from their platforms. He say they left all the evidence out that proves his innocence. It was like 20 interviews of people questioning the little facts they so say. God, look, this man moved a body, you know. I was obliged to believe, and I'm still obliged to believe everything they've been saying about him, because he's a nasty motherfucker, too. Just like Diddy, just like some more of your favorites. It's gonna come out, because you remember what I said, bro. It's gonna be like a domino effect. But yeah, I believe everything they said about him. On top of that, his wife was young when he met her. Allegedly. Y'all drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the play. Look, Drake featured on Lil Wayne, the Carter 6 album. Look, Wayne reunited with Nicki and Drake. Look, I'm waiting to hear, bro. I hope this album ain't lackluster. If I'm being honest and I'm being real, I haven't really checked out the last 2 or 3 Wayne albums, man. Wasn't for me. I'm hoping this Carter 6 make me a believer in what Wayne could do. You know what I mean? Because I know he got it. Just for a minute, he wasn't really tapping into it. So we gonna see what this talking about. Yeah, we gonna see what this talking about. On top of Drake and Nicki, he got MGK, Miley Cyrus, Young Thug, Elephant Man, Wyclef Jean, and he even got the cocksucker. Yeah, he even made something with the cocksucker. Everybody knows who I'm talking about when I say the cocksucker at this point. If you don't know, I'm talking about Kanye. Yeah, I'm talking about Yeezy. Yeah, he got one with Yeezy. Bro, we gonna see what's going on with it. Wayne, I love you, bro, but if it's lackluster, I'm just being real. I'm just being honest. I'm gonna have to call you out on that shit. But I think it'll be alright. Drop it in the comments, fam. Scars from the playground. Look, NBA young boy facing potential criminal charges in Utah. Yeah, look, the states say they want that. Yeah, the states say they want smoke. They want all the smoke, regardless of what Trump did when he pardoned them. They say, look, that man pled guilty to that. Yeah, they pled guilty to that. On top of that, they did some hell of investigating. They want him for them scripts, you know what I mean? Look, I know NBA YoungBoy fans gonna hate me for this, you know what I mean? But I never understood. You know, I always been the one to say he was gonna get out. He was gonna get out. They gonna get him. He gonna get out. Money could buy anything. But look, this shit came like record speed, fam. It came at record speed, and then with the whole POTUS giving them a presidential pardon. Look, I don't trust nobody that works with that type of government and still go with the gangster shit. They just don't go hand in hand for me. For me, you know, I ain't dropping in the comments. Still fuck with YB. Cause that's like a little brother. That's like a little brother to me. But other than that, like, man, I would always raise an eyebrow to him. It's just how I operate, fam. It ain't about what you think a nigga should be thinking, man. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Think how you want to think, and I think like I want. But guess what? I'm a survivor. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be the one that survives, bro. You just gonna be a nigga that sits behind the screen and oh, maybe I should comment for YB. Man, YB don't know you, nigga. Drop it in the comments. Nigga, squash from the playground. Look, 2 Chainz started selling weed at 12 years old. He say he started selling for his mama, his T. Jones, and her boyfriend. He say it was just nicks. Yeah, he'll make about $40, $50 a week. He's just slanging nicks through the hood. Look, he say his daddy never had a job. His real daddy never clocked in and had a job, never worked. Ever. Never got up early in the morning and went to a job. Look, all he taught him was the wrong shit. The man say since a baby, all he knew was drugs and drug dealing. Look, I'm gonna say this, bro. he turned out a hell of a person. Why? Because the way he raised his own family and stick by his wife, you never know. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't need what they taught you. You gotta unlearn what they taught you and relearn how you learn some more shit, fam, and take your own self to where you need to go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes it ain't about what the family did. You know, point blank, period. Once you learn right from wrong, bro, you have to make the decisions that's gonna better your future or remain stagnant with the other ones. You know, ain't real shit. Nick can't sell weed forever. Go watch Johnny Depp and Blow, bro. You'll see how the story ends. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Drop it in the comments, fam. Scores from the playground. Look, BG, Christopher Dorsey, say he was using heroin at 10. H, dog food. He say this is what the OGs in his hood in Louisiana, the boot, was feeding him. So he was eating it. Look, bro, poor baby didn't know no better. I'm gonna say that again. Poor baby didn't know no better. When maybe that's why he was doing all that other crazy shit that he was doing throughout the years, bro. That's why whatever he was doing in prison that made him zesty, that H still had him. You know what I mean? I'm willing to believe if you've been smoking heroin since 10, that shit is a part of you. Yeah, you probably don't even know yourself when you ain't on the heroin, but he's on paper right now. So I don't think he'll fuck that up. But after them paper, that man might go back to the age, which I'm hoping not. You know what I mean? I'm hoping not. But god damn, he's been smoking heroin since 10. Or shooting it up. You know what I mean? I'm not even laughing at this. I'm like the Joker. I laugh at awkward times, but I'm not laughing at him. Like I said, poor baby didn't know no better. You know what I mean? I'm glad he know better now. And hopefully, man, you know what? I want to see BG with his son. Yeah, his son is a cool little nigga. I want to see BG with his boy more. Point blank, period. I'll respect the shit out of BG if I start seeing him with that boy. You know what I mean? Because that boy with them dreads, cool in the motherfucker, and he be rapping. You know what I mean? Drop it in the comments, nigga. And you might as well go fuck with Soulja Boy, Soulja Slim little boy too, and Juvenile little boy. The three of them is a group. People don't talk about them much, but they got something, fam. They got something. Louisiana, where are you? We need you to put these three little dudes in rotation. Point blank, period. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. Drop it in the comments, fam. Scores from the playground. Look, 50 Cent throwing shots at Diddy. Look, he say if it's up to him, he will not be getting a pardon from President Trump. Look, a lot of people think I'm for Diddy. Diddy is a piece of shit. I'm not for Diddy. I'm not for any of them. I'm going to just tell you like this, bro. When I see 50 Cent playing these little games, I don't like it, man. Yeah, I don't like it. I know he's not still a street guy like that, you know what I mean? But come on, fam. We don't play with the law. Yeah, real niggas don't play with the law, so your fake motherfuckers can get in the comments and be like, oh, he's taking up for Diddy. This ain't what that is. This ain't what that is. But when you start hating on a man's chances of getting out, nigga, you gonna take your shot and fight your shot just like everybody else would. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. I don't know what the fuck Diddy did, but he didn't do it to me. Point blank, period. Nigga, fuck y'all. Drop it in the comments. 50 Cent, that's some hoe ass shit, fam. If you ask me, Scores from the playground, fam. I'm not turning down for none of yous. Drop it in the comments. 50 Cent, that's some hoe ass shit, fam. Yeah, that's some hoe ass shit, cause they might be trying to convict you or some shit. They say you like little boys too, yeah? You can't hide from it forever. If it's true, it's gonna come out. If it's not, the truth will set you free. Let's just say that. Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the playground.
If they throw it, I'ma catch it to play the game like Tetris. I'm one of a kind rap, people tell me I'm a clip. I've been working 24 hours, summertime to winter. I ain't really at the chill, it gotta be about business.